Okay, look at that background our friend has. Marina. Hi, Marina. Are you in White Plains? Hi there. Yes, it's a blustery, windy, rainy Memorial Day in Miami. It's a really beautiful day. Okay. So we're glad to be here. I'm glad to hear that I hear another dog is barking, and this time it's not my own.
It's mine.
Good.
Two.
So one of two. So welcome everybody. My name is Natalie. I'm going to be your guide today for wheelchair yoga. Those of you who've been to this class before, you'll be disappointed to see that the background isn't the Impossible Dream catamaran, and that we're not live streaming today from Biscayne Bay. There's a reason for that. It's that it's really windy and gusty and blustery outside today. It's been a gorgeous rainy weekend, but even though we love it and even though our gardens love it, it's not so good for being on a catamaran, even if the boat was designed to keep steady in all kinds of weather. Still, it's just not the kind of day to be on the water. So we're going to be doing it from a different location, an alternate location. That's my house. So welcome, everybody. This class has been a real joy from the very start. We've been doing wheelchair yoga at Dharma Yoga Studio for, 8 years or something like that. And recently we started going live stream, because obviously we've had to change tack with the COVID-19 crisis. So thanks to the Woody Foundation, we've been able to who've been sponsoring this class for all this time, we've been able to offer this class for free to the public, which feels really, really good. One of the main issues we've always had in offering this wheelchair yoga class is that for people on wheels, it's especially challenging to make it to Coconut Grove, to make it through traffic, to organize the day, to come over to do the class in the afternoon. And then when we decided that we had to start live streaming the classes, then we realized that it's something that we should have been doing the whole time. So we've been having a lot of fun with it. And thanks to the Woody Foundation, we've been able to keep it going. That's another very important local nonprofit here. They do a lot of work with for people that have had brain and spinal cord injuries, or for anyone facing paralysis for any reason. And they've done wonderful work, and it's really heart-opening and mind-opening work. And that's kind of where the Impossible Dream comes in also, because the whole idea behind building any kind of vessel or any kind of transportation or any kind of universal design where we have the whole population in mind, it's really important. It's really the wave of the future. So it's too bad that it hasn't been a wave of the past so far. But when you see that boat and you see it pull into port, and you see that not only can people in wheelchairs enjoy that recreational experience of being out on the water just for its therapeutic effects, but you can see that people can also be part of the crew when they're in a chair. It's pretty spectacular. So with that spirit, we're going to do our wheelchair yoga class. And since today is Memorial Day, I really want to just acknowledge all the people that we're remembering that aren't with us any longer, and with this open-hearted feeling that we always start this yoga class with, and that we always sustain the class with. I just want to say that we hope that you're all well, that you're all safe, and we wish that we could be out on the boat today, but it's rainy and blustery, and the conditions just wouldn't allow us to be on the boat. So here we are. So I hope that you're sitting comfortably and that you're ready to do some gentle moves. So do whatever you have to do to be comfortable. And I hope that you've already let people know that you're going to be busy for the next hour or so. We're not going to do anything painful. We're going to keep it friendly. And I want to say that we always start out with a breathing awareness exercise. And it's always important to breathe. You all know that. You've been breathing well enough your whole lives to make it here today. So you're not breathing incorrectly, but most of us are breathing kind of unconsciously. And a lot of us, especially these days, are suffering from some kind of anxiety related to this COVID crisis. So why not use the breath as a way to calm ourselves down? So that's the whole idea behind timing our movements with the breath. So I want to invite you to draw your focus in. So that means that whatever might be distracting you, whether it's something really physically right in your presence, or whether it's the memory or the thought of something recent or in the past, try to draw your focus in so you're really tuning into the rhythm of your breath. And it might help to put your hands on your torso. So let's say one hand on the chest and one hand on the abdomen, something like that. Anywhere really that you can feel your body moving as you breathe. So spread out those fingers, cover as much territory as you can, and just start following the breath. Notice what happens on the inhale and what happens on the exhale. Just feel that rhythm kind of come over you. We're not really changing the breath. We're just observing it right now. We're just observing how we expand and how we contract with every round of breath. And maybe you can hear the rain outside my window. When we're on the boat and in the bay, the boat is always rocking and swaying. You can hear the waves. Today we have the rain. It's nice to have a reminder of the power of nature. And now I'll ask you to try to deepen your breath a little bit. If at any time you feel short of breath or you feel like you're gasping or something, then of course, stop that. Go back to regular breath. But by deepening it, just see if you can make the inhale a little more expansive. And see if you can stretch the exhale a little bit longer. And just do that for the next few breaths. A deeper, slightly deeper inhale. And a slightly longer exhale. And it's easy to feel distracted, so if that's already happening, now you can make your breath a little more audible. And this is a technique, an audible breath technique that we use a lot in yoga. And really, it helps us hone our powers of concentration. When you notice your breath gets quiet again, it's just that you've forgotten the assignment. The assignment is to keep the breath audible. And let's take a few more breaths like that. Adding one more thing, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Try that. And this rarefies the breath even a little more. In through the nose and out through the mouth. And just try to maintain that rhythm. And start to count your breath. Count how long your inhale is and count how long your exhale is. No judgment, just notice how long they are. You must count at the same rhythm though, that's the only way it works. So those of you who are musically inclined have an advantage here. And try to equalize your breath so that the inhale and the exhale are the same length. You might have to shorten one, lengthen the other, without forcing. Keep the sound of the breath audible, and we'll try to maintain that throughout the whole class. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And especially focus on that sound of the exhale, because it's like an anchor to draw you back in. Let's do 3 more rounds. Another nice deep breath in through the nose. Another nice slow exhale through the mouth. Okay, now keep that style of breath. You can bring your arms down. And now we're going to move with the breath's rhythm. So keep that style of breath and that rhythm. And as you inhale, let your head lift. So you're lifting your chin. Maybe you feel a stretch in the front of the neck. And then as you exhale, slowly bring your head down so your chin comes toward your chest. Okay, so just keep on doing that back and forth. Go with your breath's rhythm. So the whole point of this class is to try to slow down, carve out a little time for yourself, and practice something that you can use in other situations. So we're practicing rhythmic breathing, and we're practicing focused breathing. If you keep your breath audible, you're more likely to be working on your concentration. Let's do that 5 times more, lifting and lowering the head. And of course, it's natural to feel the range of motion increasing just little by little. Try to stretch your neck nice and long as you lift your head. Feel the back of the neck stretch as you drop your head. And do 3 more like that. Of course, you breathe to your own rhythm. You move to your own breath's rhythm. So I'm just the guide. You don't have to be in sync with anyone else but yourself. So let's make this the last one. We're going to slowly bring the chin down toward the chest. And then slowly lift the head back up into neutral. Okay, take the hands onto the abdomen now, both hands. And see if you can notice your breath there. So keep that style of breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And with your hands on the abdomen, try to send the breath down there, down low into where your hands are. So you're kind of exaggerating the inhale a little bit now. And breathe also into the back of the body if you can. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Keep on doing that back and forth for the next few breaths. So keep the breath low in the torso. So we're trying to kind of imagine that your lungs go all the way down to the bottom of your pelvis. Imagine that your lungs go all the way down to the low back. Breathe 3-dimensionally, expanding to the sides. And we'll keep on working with this idea of breathing deeply and moving to the breath's rhythm. So let's let the arms come down to the sides and make your arms really active now. So engage all the muscles in your arms, and whether they're down to your sides like this, or if they're out to the sides because of your the sides of your chair or the wheels of your chair, whatever, but just engage the arms, right? So however they are, engage them so you're contracting the muscles. And then take a nice deep breath in, again, through the nose. And as you exhale, let your head go to one side and keep tilting that way so that shoulder goes down, so that arm reaches down. And then you inhale back to the center. And let's do the same thing to the other side. Your head drops, you reach down through that side, and you come back to center. So that's the assignment for the next few breaths. You move with your breath's rhythm. And remember that we have this movement courtesy of the rooting of the other parts of the body. Otherwise, we just tip over. So root through your sitting bones, root through your hips as you do this. Root through the entire pelvis. Root through your thighs. Through your knees and your shins and your feet and your toes. So every time you inhale, you return to an upright position, and as you exhale, you go to the side. And so, of course, you can get creative with it. You can start to lift one elbow up. And the other elbow. So make it work for you. Let your rib cage move. So we're working on stretching open the sides of the body. Stretching open the rib cage, the waistline. But more importantly, we're stretching open the lungs. We're stretching the breath nice and long. So we're rooting through the lower body. And make sure that you're letting your neck and head be in a comfortable position. So whether your head is going to the side or slightly forward is up to you. And let's do a few more. Visualize the sides of your body opening. Visualize that inhale, bringing you back to that upright position. And keep your breath steady. Let's do 3 more each side. So we're working on the core strength too. We're working on the oblique muscles. We're working on the abdominal wall. Keep your breath audible. And let's do 1 more each side. So on the exhale, we go to the side. On the inhale, we return to center, and then exhale to the other side. We come back to center, and let's just sit up nice and tall and take a few deep breaths while we roll our shoulders. So I'm not going to boss you around on which direction to start, but just start making those circles. And then instead of me telling you how to breathe or suggesting how to breathe, find your own way to breathe and move with your own breath rhythm. So that might mean that you kind of start to lift the arms and the shoulders, you start to lift the hands, and you'll notice that when you're starting to make these circles, your rib cage wants to get involved. Why not? Let it happen. So do a few more circles like that. Big circles. Maybe you'll hear some cracks and pops come out of those joints. And then whatever direction you're going, start to go the opposite way and change so that your breath matches the rhythm that you've created. So just tune into what your body is asking for right now. Let's do a few more circles in this direction. So we're simultaneously moving the shoulders. And then we're going to come back into neutral. Okay, and so now 1 shoulder at a time. So take a deep breath. 1 shoulder lifts and it makes a circle. On the exhale, it comes back around. So go back and forth. So I'm purposefully not bossing you around or micromanaging you about the breath, but make it 1 full breath, 1 round of breath for each circle you're making with your shoulders. So there's an inhale and there's an exhale involved. And as you're making these alternate moves, your rib cage is definitely getting more involved. And you might notice that it feels quite natural to use your arms to create some resistance, right? So you're pressing your hands into whatever, your own leg, the seat of your chair, the arm of your chair, the wheel of your chair, and now opposite direction. So whatever way you were going, now complement that with the other direction. So do that twice more, each side. 1 full round of breath for each circle you're creating. And now we're all the way back to center. We're going to sit up nice and tall and take a few deep breaths. So again, take your hands to your low abdomen. Nice deep breaths. In through the nose and out through the mouth. A few more rounds like that. And try to breathe low into the abdomen. So probably one of the hardest things to do is to remember the assignment to keep the exhale audible. And of course, it's not punishable if you don't. But it gives us a good chance to practice this calming breath right now together. Try to let your abdomen kind of swell out as you breathe in. All right, so we're going to keep on going. So next, we're going to take the hands onto the thighs, right? and we're going to lean the body forward, using the arms a little bit, and then leaning back, okay? So we're going to keep adding to this exercise. We do this on the boat because a lot of times just trying to sit upright creates this kind of rocking because we're always gimbling to deal with the waves, right, on the boat. So just kind of go back and forth. And some of us are going to keep the hands on the thighs to help us, right? You might increase the range of motion, leaning more forward and more back, depending on what works for you. And if you can use your hands less, then lighten the weight of your hands on your own legs or on your chair. And then if you can, we're going to take the arms totally off the legs. So the hands are going to float, and we're going to have a couple of options here. You can hold on to opposite elbows and kind of lean forward and back. Again, make it match your own breath, whatever works for you. And if you want, you can even stretch your arms out in front of you without holding them onto each other. And this will intensify. Go back and forth a few times more. Go forward and go back. Yeah. And I see Espartaco is lifting his arms up. Sure, you can do that to make it more intense. Some of you might even like to start making circles. So if you're going to make the circles, remember, the options are the same as before. You can have your hands on your thighs. You can make little circles with your torso. You can have your arms floating, holding on to opposite elbows. You can have your arms in front or up. And if you're making these circles, start to go the other way. Let's do 3 more circles. So this kind of thing is really good for the body, for the circulation. Not just the circulation of the blood, but for the circulation of the lymph. Let's come into neutral and let's sit up nice and tall. And of course, the lymphatic system doesn't have a pump like the circulatory system does. So we can't rely on the heart like we can to pump our blood around. So when we're trying to move lymph through the body, we rely on massage and different kinds of movement, and that's what we're going to do next. We're going to do something to stimulate the circulation and the movement of fluid in the legs. So there's going to be several options, and I should remind you, the first option is always not to do it at all. Okay, that's the first option. Second option, we'll discuss the second and third and fourth option. So the second option is to take your hands on your thighs and press down with your hands on your legs. So you're doing a massage, okay, to stimulate the circulation. You can squeeze with your fingers if you can. So whenever Woody comes to class, and he might even be here today, hopefully he is, he always reports that he gets better traction if he leans forward with his torso and kind of rocks from side to side with his forearms. So that would be option number 3, going from side to side. So it's important to move the body, whether it's by muscular action or whether it's by massage. We want to move as much of the body as possible in a friendly way, of course. And then we have another option, the fourth option. So where it's still the same idea, the same theme that we're working toward, but we take our hands into little fists and we bounce them on the thighs. Okay, so we always like to make a disclaimer here. So if you're on blood thinners, please don't punch yourself so hard that you're going to get a bruise. So be nice about it. And if you're doing this is the most percussive thing we've done together today so far. So if you're doing this, notice how the breath just automatically deepens. It's nice. And when you're doing this, just on that area at the end of the of the thigh bone where it goes toward the kneecap, not on the kneecap itself, but just there at the end of the femur bone, the vibration will go through the lower bones, through the bones of the lower leg, to the feet, to the heels. So it's nice. The vibration is good for the bones. So notice the quality of your breath now, whatever variation you're doing. And we're going to slow it down and find our way into stillness again. And once you do, take advantage of this moment that we have. Relax your hands, however they're comfortable, on your lap. And take some nice deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth so that the breath is audible. And if it helps you, of course, to put your hands on your abdomen or somewhere, do that. Do that, please. So, of course, there's lots of things to think about. There are lots of things to feel distracted by, but they're not important right now. What's important right now is that we tune in, notice the breath, keep all other thoughts at bay, give it a rest. Two more nice deep rounds of breath. And then from here, we're going to go back into the idea of moving the spine to the rhythm of the breath. So earlier, we did this move where we lifted and lowered the head, okay? So we're moving the cervical spine, and we want to add the rest of the spine. So let's add the thoracic, and let's add the waistline. Let's add the lumbar region. Let's add the pelvis if we can, okay? So first we're going to start with the neck and head, and when we're talking about moving the whole spine, of course, the ribs, well, the vast majority of the ribs are attached to the spine, so we're going to be moving the shoulder girdle, we're going to be moving the rib cage, we're going to be moving the pelvic girdle as well. But let's start off with the head and neck. Are you ready? Okay. A little different than doing a live class. Okay. Well, this is a live class, but I mean a three-dimensional class where there's people in front of you. Okay. So, like before, inhale, lift the head up. This much we've done before. Exhale through the mouth, drop the head down. Now we're going to start adding the shoulders. Inhale, lift the head, move the shoulders back so your chest comes forward. And then exhale, drop the head, shoulders come forward, cave the chest in. So keep on going back and forth. So we've done shoulder circles individually and simultaneously with the shoulders. So recall that feeling and really try to maximize. Move the rib cage. On the inhale, your chest is coming forward. On the exhale, your chest is rounding back. So we're arching and rounding the spine, arching and extending. And keep on going. The bottom ribs come forward as you inhale. The rib cage presses back as you exhale. The waistline comes forward as you inhale. The waistline moves back as you exhale. Bring the low back forward as you inhale. The low back as you exhale. Let's do a few more. Just get as much movement out of this as you can. Head, neck, shoulders, collarbones, chest, rib cage, waistline, belly button, low back, pelvis. A few more. Did I already say a few more? Okay, last one. Take a nice deep breath in, lift your chest forward, lift your head up, look up. And then this time you're going to exhale, you're going to lean back, and we're going to stay in that rounded position for the next few breaths. So yes, your head is going to drop, your shoulders are caved in, so this would be like an extreme slouching position. And I'll give you a profile. If we do this extreme slouching position when we don't want to, then sometimes it's regrettable. So as much as possible, try to engage those muscles to press your abdomen back. With every inhale, open up the back of the rib cage. So now we are slouching on purpose. Take 3 more breaths. If you can, press your hands into your legs. 3, 2, and then slowly come all the way up to an upright position. Okay, here we are. Pause for a moment. Take your hands onto the abdomen and resume that nice deep breathing. So we have Zoe watching. Nice. A few more rounds of breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. So, let's do something about the hands. And as we do, I want to invite you to stay conscious of the breath, okay? So we're going to take the hands and we're just going to start rubbing them into each other. So creating a little heat. Now we've already heard from our friends in Newport, Rhode Island today that it's cold. Down here in Miami, we're very sorry about that. It's rainy, but it's still beautiful. And I know in Rhode Island it's still beautiful as well. We talked to the founder of the Impossible Dream this morning from Woodstock, New York. A little bit chilly and beautiful. Squeeze one hand into the other. Now start to massage. And this is where, you do it in your own style. So in the same way that we were massaging the legs earlier, same kind of thing. We're working on releasing tension in the muscles. Whatever hand you're massaging, go through the fingers. From the root to the tip. Every finger, pinky, ring finger, middle finger, thumb, and the space between the thumb and forefinger. So whatever hand you just massaged, shake it out. And then we're going to do the same thing to the other side. Rub your hands into each other. Massage your hands, one with the other. And then keep on massaging every finger from the root to the tip. So we all know that it's really good to maintain the circulation in our fingers. We all know that it's really good to massage the hands and fingers, but probably very few of us do it. And the thumb as well. And then the space between the thumb and forefinger. And so that hand we're going to shake out as well. Shake it out. Shake out both hands now. Bring your arms down to your sides a little bit or out to the sides and shake them out. So a lot of times in this class we do kind of a lot of symbolic moves. So this kind of move, what does it look like to you? Looks like we're trying to shake something off. So if there's anything you want to shake off, you want to get out of your system, just kind of visualize it leaving. In fact, we can apply that massage idea. Imagine, so with your hands, just kind of squeeze your arms from as high as you can down toward past the wrist, out to the fingertips. And imagine that whatever it is that's stuck on you, that you're ready to let go of, and ready to shake off, cast off, let it shake off. Again, shake your arms out. So we're shaking not just the hands, not just the arms, but the shoulders too. And now we're going to do a few percussive breaths, okay? With the same idea, like we're shaking something off. So let your arms just relax at your sides. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Okay, do that again. Inhale. Let your shoulders lift, let your arms lift. Exhale. Do that a bunch more. So if we're talking about symbolic acts, this kind of sigh that you hear with the exhale kind of symbolizes release or relief. Let's do 5 more. Shake it all off. So we've got breaking news from John Beauregard. He says that the rhythmic breathing changes his cerebrospinal fluid pulse. And you know what? He knows what he's talking about. Thank you, John. Okay, so you heard it. Take control, take charge of your breath. Let's take the hands to the low abdomen, and again, a few rounds of breath. So we get a lot of feedback, and we love it when you give us feedback. It really helps us to figure out and plan what to provide for you, and to know what we can improve on, of course, and what you'd like to see and do. And we get comments about the breathing exercises. So keep breathing low into the abdomen as I tell you this idea, so that as you have your hands on the abdomen, you're feeling it move as you breathe, you're letting it move, you're kind of making the abdomen move. Okay. And that is that some people say, I feel really distracted, I have a hard time staying with the breath, I forget that we're supposed to be focused on the breath, I forget to breathe out of the mouth. It doesn't matter. In fact, it's valuable when we notice that we're having difficulty, because that means that we are focused enough to notice. So that's progress. So just stay with it. Remember, it's practice. We call it practice. When we're in a really stressful situation, remember this style of breathing. Because when we're in stressful situations and we're very anxious, most likely we're breathing high up into the chest and not using the full capacity of the lungs. So let's try to take the breath down low, slow it down. Remember, you're going to make it through the end of this breath. And there's another one coming. 3 nice deep rounds. In through the nose and out through the mouth. And in through the nose and out through the mouth. Remember, I'm just counting kind of randomly. You do it in your own pace. When you do your next round, okay, now let's use the arms now. So let's take the hands and line them up. So open up those fingers as much as you can and bring your palms together so they match up, and try to line up your fingers from the roots to the tips, and then spread your fingers apart as much as you can. And squeeze with your hand power and with your arm power your palms toward each other, into each other. Of course, one arm is bound to be stronger than the other, okay? So press as much as you can. And if you need to change the height of your hands so it's more comfortable for any part of the body, do that. Some of us will have the hands up high like this. Spread those fingers out, and then let's do this. Aim your fingertips down toward the ground. Aim your fingertips up and toward your chest, back and forth. Do that. And then find a way so that this movement matches your breath. And how do you do that? Well, you experiment. Is it more natural to inhale as the fingertips come toward the chest? Or is it more natural to inhale as the fingertips move away? That's for you to decide. And that's what's important, that you decide and that you keep it going, that you enact it. Okay, so keep drawing the focus in. If your breath has gone quiet, then try to bring your focus back to it. And let's do 5 times more like that. So you're pressing your fingertips toward each other, you're pressing your hands toward each other. You're squeezing the muscles in the forearms, in the upper arms, in the chest and the upper back. Okay, last one. And then let's let the arms come down to our sides, okay? And just let your arms dangle, and notice if you have any tingling sensation in the hands, in the fingers. Notice the quality of your breath. Let it stay deep. Okay. So, next thing we're going to do, next thing I'm going to suggest that we do, is going to involve a little visualization and physical action, okay? So, the basic idea is going to be this with the legs. One leg lifts, the other leg lifts. So it's an alternate action. This might be something that you do in dancing, in chasing, in running. It might be something that you do in swimming. So in swimming, maybe it's like straightening one leg out, straightening the other leg out. It might be something you do in hiking, in climbing. It might be just something that you do just like rolling around. Anything. Visualize anything. And then we're going to also add something with the arms, okay? So that action with the legs, either we're going to do it in the imagination or we're going to do it physically with the legs if you can, okay? And again, what matters is that you keep the visualization, and that if you can do the physical movement, you do the physical movement, right? So now we're going to add the upper body, and it's going to go like this. These are the options. Option number 1, not to do it at all. Option number 2 with the upper body is to have the hands like this, fingertips on the shoulders, okay? The elbows can be down, the elbows can be lifted. Another option is like this. The arms are going to go a little bit higher. The hands are going to go to the back of the head. And maybe they even interlace. Doesn't have to though, okay? So whatever option you're doing with the upper body, go ahead, take your position. Remember, it could be like this, hands, fingertips on the shoulders, or hands behind the head, okay? So I'm going to talk about the lower body in a moment, but first let's get the upper body going. So take a nice deep breath in through the nose. Press the head back. Stay like that, exhale through the mouth. Okay, try to relax your shoulders. Okay, deep breath in. Exhale through the mouth. And we're going to start moving on the exhale. So do another deep breath in. And then as you exhale, bring that one elbow toward the opposite knee. So it's a rounding, a curling of the body. And inhale, we go back to the center. And exhale, elbow toward the other knee. So notice I said toward. So it doesn't mean you have to touch the elbow onto the knee. But we're going back to that straightening of the spine and rounding of the spine. So we're once again using the core of the body, going with the breath. So remember at the start of class when we were doing the arching and the rounding, remember? Every time we exhale and we do the rounding, the belly button moves back. So we're really trying to create that curl. And again, if I'm moving too fast or too slow, don't mind me. You go at your own pace. So here's where you might want to use your leg a little bit. So if you want to visualize the leg moving in order to get this going, or if you want to lift your foot up a little bit, fine. Or if you want to keep the leg bent and bring the knee in toward the elbow as it comes forward, also fine. Go back and forth. Let's do 100 more. Is the painting distracting you? Keep on going. So keep the visualization. Whatever it is that this might remind you of. And I believe there's some kind of cuttlefish or a squid that propels itself through the water with this kind of move. Shrimp might even do it as well, with all legs. You know, I'm not sure about this, but it's important to use the imagination. How many do we have left? Let's do 5 more. Just go with the breath. Okay, 2 more pairs. And then last pair. Remember, the hands can be on the shoulders as well. Let's come back into neutral. Sit up nice and tall. Okay, take a few deep breaths in through the nose. and out through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. And in through the nose and out through the mouth. Okay. So let's do a little bit more of a shoulder stretch. Okay. So a shoulder and neck stretch, I should say. Oops. Okay. So for this one, it might make sense for us all to do the same side, because if I say the words right or left, then it makes a little more sense if we're all doing the same side. So I'm going to suggest that we take the right hand and put it on the chest, but instead of in the middle of the chest, a little bit over to the right, to the left side. Let me move my microphone puff here. So the right hand is on the chest and it's a little bit over on the left side. Feel your left collarbone, your clavicle. And if you can kind of press down on there, do that. Maybe you can even hook your fingers on there. So you're kind of weighing down there, right? Okay. So now we're going to let the head fall to the right. Stay like that for a moment. And you're moving the left shoulder down, not just by pressing with your right hand, but by actually using the muscles in the left side of the neck, the left shoulder. And then just experiment. Now this might involve just a tiny little micro move. So you might let your chin move a little bit over to the right, toward the right shoulder. You might let your chin move down toward the right side of your chest a little bit. But just experiment. Experiment with those tiny options. So this is just evidence that you have the right to change your experience, to fine-tune it. Now sit up nice and tall. So remember, the stretching comes courtesy of the rooting of the lower body here. So we're trying to sit up nice and tall. Feel the sitting bones. And just let your head move just a little bit. So try to maintain that contact. And then slowly, slowly bring your head back to neutral. Okay, sit up nice and tall. Let your right hand come down. Okay, see if you feel any stretch on the left side of the neck. Right? Move your head a little bit from side to side, see how that feels. And we just got a report that Cindy is joining us. Borgonzini Arreglado. Thank you for waking up, rolling out of bed, and joining us for a rainy day memorial wheelchair yoga class. Thank you, Cindy. All right, other side. So let's do the same thing to the other side. Okay, so if you were with me on the other side and did the exact same side, great. Otherwise, I'm just going to describe it as if you did anyway. So the left hand is going to go to the chest. Not so much the middle, but the right side of the chest. And the idea is that you're pressing down a little bit with that left hand, maybe pressing down a little bit on the shoulder, maybe pressing down on the collarbone, maybe hooking the fingers around it, maybe just pressing into the chest. Okay, so you're providing that stability, right? And the same way that we provide the stability of the lower body, the rooting, the grounding, in order to do stretches and movement of the upper body here, we're providing that grounding here, that assist, so that the right shoulder stays down. And now we experiment in the same way we did on the other side. So let your head fall to the left. Stay like that for a few breaths. Right away, directly, this side feels different. Let your breath remain nice and deep. Try to keep your exhale audible. That's the assignment. And in order to get a similar kind of stretch that we did on the other side, you might have to shift something around a little bit. So acknowledge that. Maybe your chin moves toward the collarbone. Maybe your chin moves down toward the chest. Whatever you got. So a lot of times we know that these stretches are going to help us out and make us feel better, but a lot of times we just don't take the time to do them, or we feel like we don't have the time, or we can't figure out how to make the time. So remember, if stretching and strengthening helps you feel better, remember, you deserve to feel better. We all do. So it's just a matter of tuning in, carving out some time for you. Okay, now pause, stay there, get your clavicle stretch. We just got a report from Vicky that she enjoyed the clavicle stretch. Good. Take some nice deep breaths. Breathe low into the abdomen. Okay, make your last exhale here. And then on the inhale, slowly, slowly come all the way up. Lift yourself up into neutral. Take some nice deep breaths. And then experiment again like we did on the other side. Turn your head one way, turn your head the other way. See how that feels on your neck. And then we're going to make 3 long, slow circles with the head. Slow neck rolls, okay? So really slow. You don't have to force anything, okay? Please don't force anything. Pay close attention to how it feels. And go with your breath. So we're going to take a whole inhale and a whole exhale to make one circle, right? So we're going to go in one direction and then in the other direction. So, I'm going to talk you through this, okay? So once again, I'm going to micromanage you just very slightly. So lower body is rooted. Feet, legs, hips, core of the body is strong. Sit up nice and tall. Okay, take a nice deep breath in through the nose. And exhale, let your head fall forward. Okay, inhale, roll your left ear toward the left shoulder. Roll your head back. And on the exhale, roll your head to the right shoulder and down. Twice more. Inhale, start to roll your head to the left shoulder, back to the right shoulder. Exhaling, bring your head forward and down. And again, another circle to the left. Inhaling, the head is on the back side. Exhaling, the head comes to the front. Now go to the other side. Head goes forward. And we'll start again on the inhale. Move your right ear toward the right shoulder. The head rolls back. When it gets to the left shoulder, you exhale and roll the head forward. And twice more like that. Inhale, head to the right. Back. Exhaling, head to the left. And down. And then one more just like that. Nice and slow. Go with the breath. And then bring yourself all the way into a neutral position. Here we are, sitting up nice and tall. Take your hands to the abdomen. Take some nice deep breaths. So if you notice your mind wandering for whatever reason, try not to fully embody that thought. Just encapsulate it and let the thought move away. Just notice it as it arises. And just with the power of the exhale, imagine that thought gets encased in a bubble. With the power of the exhale, the thought just gets blown away a little bit. 2 more breaths like that. In through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. So from here, let's do something else. We're going to do our seated sun salutation, okay? So we've pretty much done all the moves that encompass the sun salutation, okay? So we can, add a few things. Those of you who know how to do it, of course, you go for it. We'll do the first round we'll do the first round together and, a couple of inhales and exhales per move. But then as we do the next few rounds, we'll do them breath by breath. So every move will be one inhale or one exhale. And you can always make adjustments. Essentially, it's going to be about arching the back and rounding the back. And that's pretty much one of the, the basic moves that we did earlier in class today. Okay, so let's do this. So ready, the arms are going to come down to the sides. And then when you make your next inhale, bring your arms forward and lift them up as high as you can. Arch your back and look up. Just take your arms as high as comfortable. And arching the back, you're bringing your waistline forward. Look up, take a deep inhale. And then as you exhale, round the back. Let your hands come down, round the back, belly button in, chin to the chest. Now we're going to arch the back again. And this time you have the option to lift the leg. So inhale, arch again, float the foot, or maybe hold the leg, bring it in. Stay like that for a few more breaths. So if you're holding onto the leg, use your arm power. Yeah, broaden the chest. Nice, Marina. And then bring the foot down. Okay, let's start the same thing again with the arms first. Inhaling, sweep the arms up. We're going to hold this for a few breaths. Bring your waistline forward, arch your back, looking up. Another deep breath in, and then start the reverse. You round the back. So we're always complementing one action with another. And now we're going to arch again, and this time we're going to have the other leg. So option arch the back, option let the leg float or hold on to it. And if you're using the arms, broaden the chest, looking up. A nice deep breath in. And then exhale, put the foot down. Okay, so we pretty much went through the moves that we need for the modified Sun Salutation. So let's do it. And by the way, I am facing east. You can't tell that, but traditionally, when we do these Sun Salutations, we're supposed to do them as the sun is rising. That's not happening today, but facing east as the sun is rising. Okay, so hopefully some of you are also facing east too, but actually it's okay if you're not. So let's go breath by breath. Inhale, lean forward with the chest, lift it up, reach up with the arms. Exhale through the mouth, round the back, belly button in, drop the head. Okay, pick a leg. Inhale, lift it if you can, arching the back, looking up. And exhale, back into neutral. Let's start again with the arms. Inhale, lift them forward, arch, looking up. Exhale through the mouth, round the back. Okay, here comes the other leg. Lift it if you can, arching the spine. And then exhale, let the foot come down. Okay, let's do another round. Inhale, lift the arms and arch, looking up. Exhale, round the back, look down. Lift the other leg if you can, arch the back regardless. Exhale, bring the foot down. And then again, inhale, lift the arms, arching, looking up. Exhale, round the back. Lift the other leg if you can, arch the back. Exhale, foot comes down. Let's do one more. Inhale, lift up, arching, looking up. Exhale, round the back, looking down. Lift the leg if you can, arch the spine. Exhale, put the foot down. And then last one, inhale, lift the arms up, looking up. Exhale, round the back. Lift the other leg if you can. Arch the back, lifting the heart. And then exhale, put the foot down. Okay, let's just lift the arms nice and slow. Arch the back, lift the heart. And then from here, we're going to bring the hands to the heart. And here's the part where we tune into what the heart represents. So we always seal the class with an exercise of gratitude. Now on Memorial Day, of course, our focus is always going to be all of those people that we've lost. All those people that we're grateful for. All those people who have made sacrifices for us. All those people who have bravely moved on. When we do our exercise of gratitude, we focus on someone or something we're grateful for. The heart is associated with many virtues, patience and tolerance, compassion, courage and valor. But for the purpose of closing our class, we always seal it with the exercise of gratitude, always associated with the heart. So acknowledge something or someone you're grateful for. And we'll take a few more breaths. As you inhale, reach out and up with the arms as if you're gathering the gratitude. And as you exhale, bring it to the heart. Okay, just keep on doing that back and forth. Inhale, reach out, reach up. And exhale, just think of that person or that thing you're grateful for. And then the next time the hands come to the heart, just keep them there. And with the hands on the heart, just acknowledge that person or that thing you're grateful for. And when we do this class, when we're together, it's really the most beautiful, most poignant part of the class. When people can share and say out loud what they're grateful for. And it's really amazing to see what happens when people are given a chance to say it out loud. So I'll just tell you, since I'm the only one here, I'll tell you I'm grateful that you all showed up to class today. Thank you to our sponsors, to the Woody Foundation, of course, here in Miami, to the Impossible Dream, and to Dharma Yoga Studio. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Please give us your feedback. I'm so sorry that we couldn't be out on the Impossible Dream today, out on that beautiful catamaran, live streaming from Biscayne Bay, but
thank you so much.
Thank you, Marina. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Espartaco. Yeah. So thank you all for coming.